Hi, I'm Carl Stabe, and I'm here with Selena Soo, and we are introduced through a mutual friend, Natalie. And one of the fun things about being able to be introduced is being that connection is much more intimate and happens quicker compared to reach cold calling someone or emailing them. So thank you so much for being here today, Selena.
Thank you, Carl. I'm so excited to be talking to you.
So the reason your name came up was I asked Natalie about building relationships, and she says you're amazing at that. So tell us a little bit about how you got started and what you're doing.
How I got started. Sure. So I've had my business for about a year now, and I work with experts and authors and coaches in the Live Your Best Life space, and I help them increase their visibility. And I really believe that at the end of the day, if we want to get access to those big opportunities that are going to change our business, it's by knowing the right people, right? Because when we think about it, with every opportunity you want, whether it's that really big client or, to be promoted media opportunity, there's always somebody standing in between you and the opportunity. And so if you can develop a personal connection with them and get them to really understand you and know you and like you and become your advocate, then you're going to get a lot of yeses versus if you're somebody who is just sending cold emails left and right to strangers. And so, I help people with that. And also when I think about myself, having only been in business for a year, I've been fortunate to be able to build a six-figure business and position myself as an expert and almost like a mini business celebrity off the bat by leveraging relationships and knowing how to position myself. So yeah, I just think that it's really the most important thing in business is really our relationships with people.
So I guess give that example of how you were able to do that and do it so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So, gosh, about a year and a half ago, I was in business school. I was at NYU Stern, and I had actually become friends with someone named Ramit Sethi, who's the founder of I Will Teach You to Be Rich. And he was a friend of, I literally just saw him on the street and went up and introduced myself to him. And I think that sometimes when people see someone that they really admire, they almost like, instead of going up to them, they run in the other direction. They're like, oh my God, like so and so's there. They text a friend or they kind of hide. And I think that it's important to remember that people are just people. And if we put someone up on a pedestal, the moment we put them up on the pedestal is the moment they look down on us. And it's not to say that we can't admire people, but there's no reason to think that you're better than someone. And we all have value to add. So I connected with Ramit, we became friends, and just a specific example is he sent me an email one day while I was at business school, and he was saying, I'm launching my new website. I've got these two different versions of a homepage. Do you have like 5 minutes? I would love your feedback. And what most people would do is, maybe they would make 5 minutes and be like, version 2 is better. And maybe give like one reason and that's it. But for me, I was so excited to help someone who I really, admire and who's helped me a lot just through his work online. So what I did is I didn't give him 5 minutes. I gave him 5 hours. And I went to the library at Stern and I pulled aside all my friends and organized this mini focus group and put together these like really deep insights for him on something that was obviously like a big need of his at the time, was figuring out this website. And so I sent him like, my ideas, probably 5 pages worth of ideas. And he was really blown away because he didn't expect it. And the cool thing is that even though he wasn't a client of mine, I was just, there to help a friend, but he got a good impression of who I was and how I go above and beyond and sort of the quality of my work. And so when I was talking to him, a few months later, talking about how I wanted to start my own publicity company, he said, like, I know who you need to talk to right away. And I was like, who? And he said, you need to talk to Marie Forleo. And it was funny because I actually had printed out this email that I had drafted to Marie Forleo because I wanted to reach out to her. And so he, as an influencer on the inside, knew like Marie's actually looking to talk to people about PR. And so it was just so synchronistic. And, we spoke on the phone immediately. And also at the same time, Danielle Laporte told Marie, like, you need to speak to Selena. Once Ramit told me, like, Marie is looking to speak to, someone in publicity, I was able to leverage my network around that. And so, when I started my company officially, I had testimonials right away from Marie and also Danielle. And then, Ramit, who is a friend, is, kind enough to refer people to me. And so I think that because I always, like, I build my network before I need it. And not even so strategically, but I'm just I love helping people. You know what I mean? And so when you help people and they can see, the value that you add, then you develop a reputation. And then you can leverage that right from the start of your business.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you what personality type you are, but going up to a meet in the middle of the street, I would say you're an extrovert.
No. Oh my gosh. Do you follow Myers-Briggs?
Yes.
Okay, because I am not an extrovert. I am such an introvert, actually.
Okay.
Um, should I tell you what I am?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm an INFJ.
I'm an ENTJ.
Oh, that's a really cool type. I used to, actually, a boyfriend of mine was at Harvard Business School a few years back, and when they get into Harvard Business School, you take the personality test once you're already admitted, and I think it was like 86% were ENTJs.
Wow.
And they tend to be the most successful people in business. So that is obviously a very good sign.
Well, you're doing very well too. I'm surprised you're not an extrovert.
No, I just, for me, I'm just so passionate about my work. I'm passionate about helping people. So I come alive in those situations.
Hmm.
But I'm not someone who is able to be on all of the time. I do need to conserve my energy. But I think that in some ways, that also, as somebody who teaches people about networking, I can relate to things. I can relate to feeling shy sometimes. I can relate to not having a lot of energy and having to be selective about what events I go to. It's not like I have boundless energy and I'm just charismatic all the time and everything's so easy for me. I can definitely relate to some of the fears that people feel when they go into networking situations. But I also think that I also come from like a really genuine place where I'm not like, okay, I've got to go to an event and, make sure to exchange business cards with 5 people. Like I don't follow those kind of rules.
Hmm.
I just go to events that I actually feel genuinely excited about. And I connect
Hmm.
with people that I really want to connect with. And I think that when you come from a place of enthusiasm and generosity and like really just pure curiosity, then you sort of come alive. And so sometimes I do appear extroverted, yes.
Yeah, when you were referred to me from Natalie, of course, before I say yes, I had to go look you up and see what you do.
Of course.
But but yeah, I'll interview a lot of different types of people, and that's what's fun. To me, I'm ready to say yes. I want to make sure it's a good fit for my audience before,
Of
but
course.
I would almost interview anybody just because it's a great way to connect with someone and find out who they are and what they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay, one of the biggest mistakes you've made as you've tried to grow your brand, and how could you avoid that? How have you avoided that since then?
Yeah, one of the biggest mistakes. I mean, I think it's something that happens to all of us. So, but I caught it sooner rather than later. But I thought I could figure everything out by myself. And so when I started a business, I didn't have a business coach. What I did have is I had a lot of friends. So I had friends, who were multi-million dollar, information marketing business owners, which is great. But then it was like I was just getting random advice from people here and there. And I realize now that it's so important, for at least for me, and actually, I actually think for anyone, to have like a business coach or someone who's really dedicated to them and understands their business inside and out. Because I think when we're casually talking to friends, when they don't have the full picture of our business and where they're going, they could give good advice, but it might not fully apply to our business. And it can get confusing when we're asking 17 different people's opinions.
Hmm.
And so I hired a business coach who is incredibly good at what she does. She gets everyone great results, and she helped me change my business model, which allowed me to work with more people in the way that I actually want to. So I think it's really about getting support, and there's different levels of support from a business coach to, of course, having peers and colleagues doing similar things that you can rely on. I'm in a mastermind group. But yeah, I think the number one thing is that we all need support, because if it's just only about us and we don't have support from people who are wiser or smarter, then I think that we're going to hit a ceiling at a certain point.
Hmm. So we're back, and hello everybody. We blacked out there. I think that was on my end, so I apologize. Selena was in the middle of talking, and my computer went not so on her. So sorry about that, Selena. Thanks for being a trooper about this. So let's basically where you left off.
Yeah, so I was just saying that a client of mine who's been on the Dr. Oz show, she was speaking to his right hand the other day, and he was saying that, for Dr. Oz to do what he does, he actually has 200 people on his team. Right, who are orchestrating everything. So, him being able to go on his TV show to, do work with Oprah and write for the magazine and then do surgery at Columbia. It's like he has like a massive team of people behind him. And I think that we forget that sometimes. And, Carl, you probably know this, but even in our industry, like a lot of the experts, it's not just them talking to a camera. There's like a whole team of people who are coordinating the launch and doing the video and who are behind the scenes. Like it's, you might just see one person, but there are actually a dozen people behind them. And then beyond that, they've got a network of peers and supporters and mentors. And so I think it just really goes to show that for us to be successful in business and to reach our potential, that we can't do it all by ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. And it is. It's that's how we grow, and we got to learn from people smarter than us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's kind of talk about, we talk about the mistakes. So what have you done well, and what was one secret you would share with somebody out there listening? Like, I want to build my business. I want to do it, maybe not too fast, but at a good pace. What would be that one secret that you could share with them?
Honestly, I didn't grow my business at a slow or good pace. I actually grew at a very fast pace. But in terms of, I'm assuming that we all want to be moving forward. So in terms of just like growing our business, so I talked about the importance of having a business coach. I think also like the importance of like taking risks. So, there'll be things that I'm doing in my business that maybe it's like, I might not, like I'm launching a high-end mastermind, a publicity mastermind. It's been going really well and people are signing up. But typically someone wouldn't do that within a year of their business. They might wait longer. Or even, after having my business for like 2 or 3 months, I launched a course. And so I did things quickly. And then every time, I learn and I make it even better. But I think part of being successful, right, is just about taking action, even if we don't feel 100% ready, even if we haven't done it before. Because you get experience by doing, which just means getting started. So I think that's just a huge part of it, is just going for it.
Yeah, good advice. Yeah, because it's that first step that everybody's most fearful of. But once you do it, then all of a sudden you realize, wait a second, this isn't so bad.
Yeah, if you're feeling scared, it usually means you're moving in the right direction.
So this is the toughest question out of them all.
Okay.
That most people, they have to take a second to collect themselves. But I always ask it, what's the secret to happiness?
What's the secret to happiness? Again, I think it's 2 parts. One of it, I think, is growth. At least, I can only speak for myself, but for me, as long as I'm moving forward, I feel good. Like if something new happens, like, oh, I'm doing my first webinar, or something, like this person just signed up for a program. Like as long as there's like progress, I'm feeling excited. But then I think that there's also like, while you're, thinking about how can I move forward, it's also about like appreciating where, I am right now. So I know with my business, like I can see very clearly where I'm headed, and I'm so excited about the things I'm creating and, the impact that my clients are going to make through our work together. So like, even 2 years from now, it's exciting to think about what that would look like. But also just like in this moment, I'm having so much fun. Like it's so cool for me to be interviewed by you. And, I'm doing a webinar tomorrow night, like my first webinar for my list. And that's so exciting to see all the registrations come in. So I think it's like really like savoring, all of the like successes, like as they happen, while also being really excited about the future.
Cool. So, as we kind of wrap this up, what is, there are people out there, they see how fast you've grown, they hear your success, and, maybe to a certain extent, it scares them a little bit. So, what is that one thing they can do to to take that baby step? What would you suggest? What would be that one action that has helped you build your company?
Yeah, I think step one is really leveraging their network because we all have a network. It's just sometimes we're not so good about reconnecting with people. But I find that all of us have people in our lives that care about us and want to help us, but we actually have to be proactive about reconnecting with them and letting them know, like, yes, I'm like, wanting to receive your help. So I think that, I mean, there's like a few steps involved in this. I think step number one is looking at your business, kind of where it is right now and where you want it to be. How do you make money? And then based on kind of how you can see your business growing, maybe it's getting more clients, maybe it's doing group programs, maybe it's media, whatever it is, whatever your business goals are, then think about, okay, what are the opportunities that are going to get me there? Right? So what are your goals, number one? And then number two, identify the opportunities. And then three, identify the people who can give you access to the opportunities, whether they're like a super connector who can open the door for you, or they're a decision maker, or perhaps they just might have insight as a mentor, someone who's been there and done that. And then so once you are clear on the goal, the opportunities, and the people, then just taking a moment to reach out to people. And I think that there are ways that you can do it that are more effective than others. So, for example, if you're trying to contact a busy person, kind of emailing them and just saying, hey, like, let's get lunch sometime, is not going to be that effective, because I know that for busy people, they have hundreds of emails in their inbox, and most of them are requests, like asking for something, asking for their time. And then also it's not clear, like, why does she want to get lunch? That's going to take like 2 hours out of my day, and like, what's the purpose? So I think what's much easier is to like just send an email to people who you care about, and it could be something like, hi, like, Jane, like, I'm just reaching out to you, as you know, I just launched my business, and I actually want to get your input on something because I really admire how you built your business. I know you're so busy, and I promise to be very respectful of your time. Could we hop on the phone for just a quick 10 minutes, either today or tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
And if someone cares about you and they know you have a specific one or two questions, then most people will find a way to hop on the phone with you for 10 minutes. And then when you get them on the phone for 10 minutes, don't turn that 10 minutes into an hour, because then they won't trust you. Just be prepared with like two specific questions. And I mean, some of the questions could even be like, these are my ideal clients, and do you know anyone who fits that description? And then you just like, shut up, and you just let them be like, let me think about that. Gosh, I was at that event, and it might take them like 2 or 3 minutes, but they will come up with specific ideas. And then you could say to them, that's great. Like, I would love to connect with them. What would be the easiest way for you? One thing I could do is I could write a forwardable email that you could send to them about an event that I have coming up. And then you could connect with them at the event, or, I could write an introduction for you. But just make it super easy for them, reaching out specific, just 10 minutes, be very clear on what you need and respectful of their time. And, not every single person will get on the phone with you right away, but if you reach out to 10 people, there'll definitely be 3 or 4 people who are like, absolutely, I would love to help you. And sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah. So how often do you do that, like each week?
I just do it when I need it. So, with my mastermind, for example, there's this one person I know who works with a lot of these personalities. And so I sent him an email, and I got on the phone with him, and we went through like a list of people. But it's only when I need it. And then also, I organize these influencer brunches on the weekends to bring together my friends, and I do, cocktail parties and things like that. I have like different reasons and opportunities to kind of like bring people back into my network and connect them with others. So I think that, I think that we all should be consistent about reaching out to people. And, like we were saying at the beginning of our conversation, you want to dig your network before you need it. So, the reason why what I explained works is because I'm assuming you already have a relationship with someone, and you're like, oh, can we jump on the phone for 10 minutes? But you couldn't just ask a stranger to, give you advice and to jump on the phone that week. So you do want to be consistently connecting with people who, that you admire and that are exciting to you, and where there is a mutual benefit.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you so much.
I hope that's helpful.
Oh, it was very much so. So I always like to make sure people know where they can find you. So S2 Group, s2-group.com, right?
Yeah, exactly. And actually, I have a free gift for the people listening in. So usually when I do these interviews, people say, like, Selena, I totally understand like the value of networking and building my network before I need it. But the place that they get stuck up on is the adding value. Like, how do I add value to people who are already successful when maybe I'm starting out? And so I've put together something. It's called 6 Simple Ways to Add Value to Your Network. And it's 6 things that you can do that are really powerful that will really help you become a valuable person in these influencers' lives. And so if they go to my website, www.s2-group.com, and then /free gift, they can download it there.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. So great chatting with you and being able to speak to your audience.
Yes, yes. And it's always fun connecting with new people. All right. Have a great day.
Okay. Bye, Carl.